welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini. This is going to be for January 25th to the 31st, week coming, starting Saturday. So, releasing these videos a little bit earlier. Excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice, of course. A little bit earlier than I normally do. But in any case, let's just get right into it. This is next week for Gemini. And let's see what the romance angel messages have for you. All right. Hopefully my voice will hold out. We have release your ex, Gemini. Time to let go of that energy. We have passion. Strong, beautiful. And we have love yourself first. Well, this message has been coming out for some of the other readings as well already. So love yourself first is a really strong energy at any time, really, when you're dealing with personal relationships. Let's get right into your animal spreads. Now, your animal spreads, your animal spirits, rather, they can really indicate energies that are coming available to you, Gemini. They can sometimes indicate personality types or characteristics of individuals that you're dealing with in your personal life or at work, in your family. So sometimes also indicate stages you're coming into. So let's just see for you, Gemini, what animal spirits you may have walking beside you this week. We have the vulture, air energy, very misunderstood creature, necessary though. We have the unicorn, associated with the alchemical symbol for ether. And we have the bee. All right, so the bee is air energy. It's also an animal spirit that comes up a lot in my readings. Let's get right into it. The vulture. The vulture is really one of these misunderstood creatures. It's often extremely undervalued, right? When we think of our ecosystem, the vulture is necessary to come in to clean and to get rid of the death and the disease so that we can continue moving forward with health, right? To grow forward with health. And so it plays a vital role in our ecosystem, in our ability to carry on. The vulture oftentimes is the energy that comes in to do the dirty work that nobody wants to do, to clean up a mess when we've made a mess, right, of things. The vulture energy is the one who has to sort of face the music, clean it all up. And like I said, in general, this is an animal spirit that is very undervalued. And so sometimes vulture energy is around when, for instance, we may have gone through a particularly difficult patch, or we may have had to deal with some kind of negativity in some way. But there's always some kind of blessing or something to be learned from that. And so vulture energy reminds us not to undervalue the other things in our lives, right? To always remember that everything in our life has a value, even sometimes the difficult parts or the dirty work, has a value. Now, the unicorn is associated with the sixth chakra, which is the third eye chakra. And we see this with this horn protruding from the third eye of the unicorn. And of course, this is an animal spirit that really reminds us that magic is everywhere around us, but we really have to open up to it. If you want to be one of these individuals who has an open third eye, who's able to see deeper into life, experience deeper energies, bigger energies, wider energies, more interconnected energies, then there has to be some faith as well. You have to come to the table with at least a little bit of belief in magic in order for you to open up to being more receptive to magic all around you. And so this is really a strong animal spirit to sort of combat pessimism when we begin to feel pessimistic about life, or we begin to sort of lose our ability to see the magic in life. The unicorn reminds us that, we just have to try. We just have to sort of, it involves our own effort also, right? The universe, the spirit works with our effort. And so sometimes we just have to pick ourselves up and try harder at being more optimistic and inviting in the magic of life, So the bee is the air energy animal spirit that is always around my readings. The bee is a really beautiful animal spirit for really working very hard. This is always a really good friend. This is someone who always brings a real sense of creativity and flair to whatever they do. but they work hard and they love working as part of a group or a part of a project. This is always going to be the friend who is there for you. You know, when no other friends show up, that's the friend who shows up to help you move, or that's the friend who shows up to help you with something else. They're always enthusiastic, as I say, and the bee is also associated with democracy, right? Because bees live in colonies, and they understand that every single bee in a colony has its value, and so somebody who's resonating with this energy is also the person who's always going to make sure that everyone's enjoying themselves. Sometimes they're the mediator in a group or a social group that everybody goes to sort of, you know, settle arguments and things like that, because everyone gets along with the person who's resonating with this energy. So let's get right into your spreads. These are your animal spirits, and just take them as they apply to you, Gemini. If they don't apply, just let it go. It's not for you. We're going to check out your various outlooks for the week now. These outlooks are intended to be separate from each other, so just take them as they come to you. You may only resonate with one or a portion of one, and that is just fine. Show me what's going on for Gemini, January 25th to 31st. Show me the last full week in January. All right, straight out we have Eight of Pentacles, Lover's energy, and it's Seven of Pentacles. Well, Gemini, there you are showing up in your own reading with the Lover's card. Of course, this is your tarot card. Some of you are coming into this week really having put a lot of effort and focus and discipline into your work. Right now, you're working very hard. You're cutting yourself off from sort of any kind of social life, perhaps. You're really being very sort of restrictive on yourself so that you can remain focused and get down to work and get it done, right? And so this is your focus coming into the week, right? Perhaps there are some tasks that you've let sort of, you've left, right, and that you need to get done. But there is a sense of urgency here also that you really are trying to get back on track, perhaps for some of you. In any case, it's all about putting the nose to the grindstone. And you come into this week with a Lover's energy, which is interesting because for some of you, Lovers comes into you, and so there is a connection, a very strong, passionate connection for you. This may be a new connection coming in, or this may even be an old connection that you haven't seen for a little while, but when you see them right away, the passion is there. This is a strong soulmate connection. It feels really much like, to me, it feels very much, Gemini, like some of you have been indeed perhaps even on your own for a little while, working, and all of a sudden, boom, this week you see an old flame, or you see an old lover, or you meet someone new, but this really feels like someone you've known before where the connection is very much there, but maybe you're not together with them. You round your week off with a Seven of Pentacles. It's quite interesting because Seven of Pentacles is the card for sort of sometimes feeling a little bit like a failure, sometimes feeling like it's time to reevaluate everything that you've achieved. Not even so much failure, but just feeling like, you know, are you happy with what you are getting back, right, for the work that you're putting in? Are you happy with your job? Are you happy with what you're doing right now for a living? This feels very much, and oftentimes this feels like a real sort of a desire to reevaluate where you're at, to maybe change some things. And it's interesting that this is the energy that will come in after seeing this person. This could be an ex, release your ex. This could be an ex of yours that every time they come into your life, you know, the impact of them coming into your life, you may have been very methodically and simply working away, and you may not have seen them for months or even a few years, but seeing them again always seems to make you, you know, have a strong impact on you. And so, of course, you see this person again, and by the end of the week, you're already reevaluating everything about your career and everything that you're doing. And again, it could very much be just a case of releasing some of this energy, or it could just be a positive impact that this person has on you in the sense that they do shake you up and get you to sort of reevaluate where you're at. And in any case, this is a real sort of interesting meeting for some of you Geminis this week who are going to be running into an old flame. Five of Wands, King of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Some of you are coming into the week and you are embroiled in a power dynamic, a real competitive power dynamic with someone. And this may have been going on for quite some time, right? But this week it's really coming to a head. And interestingly enough, you're met with a King of Wands energy. Now, the King of Wands has a real sort of vision for himself. He's also oftentimes the leader, the authority figure that comes in, but he's not the leader in the same way that the Emperor is. The thing with the King of Wands is that he oftentimes leads by example. He's a lot of times the person who is very sort of eccentric. He follows his own vision. He has a vision and a goal for himself, and he manifests that. But it's very unique, and it's something that he follows with his heart and his passion. And this is how he is the leader to others. He's the leader by way of inspiration oftentimes. You come into the week and you meet this energy, and I think somebody comes into your week, Gemini, that really gives you a lot of inspiration for how to handle some of this this negativity that you're coming across. This could be arguing or bickering. This could be falling out with friends, or friends just acting weird and shysty with you, right? Or people acting, 1 minute one way, the next minute they're being very combative. This just seems like a real power dynamic that's very unhealthy. And it's like this King of Wands comes in for some of you, Gemini, and they really show you the way. It's a real sort of like inspiration to you on how to handle that, how to handle this kind of energy. And I think you really take a page out of this book from them, right? You really learn something. And you really open yourself up to a whole new way of interacting with people, or at least handling this type of energy. You round your week off with the Nine of Pentacles, and this is a very peaceful place to be. You can see that you're no longer surrounded with these sort of bickering and arguing. Nine of Pentacles is someone generally who is alone in their garden. They're very successful. They have a high level of abundance coming in. This is somebody who takes really good care of themselves physically as well. And they certainly have the rewards of all their hard work coming in. But they are oftentimes alienated from others. They can sometimes be separated from others by their wealth or by their social status. But it's almost as if you have learned what you needed to learn from this individual, and you're able to pull yourself right out of the muck with these people and set yourself apart exactly to where you want to be. In this case, being alone in the garden is not bad. It's having sort of separated yourself from the type of negative energy that you had all around you here. And it's interesting that you kind of figure this all out just by following this person's lead. This is very inspirational to you, and it's certainly a situation of learning something from somebody who's very, very wise. And when you learn that thing from them, or you understand that, or you realize that thing from them, and you integrate it into your life, it just resonates your life right up to where you want it to be. It's a really beautiful learning experience. Four of Pentacles, Judgment. And the Ten of Pentacles, this is the last spread. So for some of you, you come into this week feeling a little bit worried about finances, definitely worrying about financial stability, being sometimes even feeling maybe that it's a little bit threatened. This can always be played out in multiple ways. It could be that you're feeling threatened at work with your, stability at work with your position or your job. It could feel like, if your company is being bought, what's the future for your position? Or it could be that, responsibilities are coming in and you're not sure if your finances are stable for them. Or, it's any kind of an event or environment that makes you feel as though your money is just not going to hold up. You're going to either lose it, or it's going to be taken, or it's just not going to be enough. And this can cause a lot of anxiety. And so you're coming into the week really worrying about this issue. Interestingly enough, though, you have a reconciliation. And again, this showed up for another reading too. But this reconciliation, this feeling of reconciliation comes into you this week. Normally, Judgment is a card that we resonate with, and we're the ones who are seeking reconciliation. I think that for you, Gemini, this week, someone is coming into you, perhaps a family member. It feels very much like this is a family situation or a friend situation. Could even be at work, right? But it's, in any case, a situation where somebody is wanting to reconcile with you. They've seen the error of their ways. It could be their fault that you're in this position to begin with of worrying about your finances. And they really want to come in and they want to fix it. They want to talk to you. They want to talk to you about it. They want to reconcile with you. They want to have an open exchange. And depending on how you're willing to meet them, this could turn out very nicely because you round your week off with a 10 of Pentacles, which is completion. It could be that somebody, an example could even be that if on a job a boss sort of treated you poorly or didn't give you perhaps a raise or a promotion or something was supposed to happen and it didn't happen, and you find out later on or this week you find out that the boss wants to talk to you again. They realized they made a mistake for some reason, or they realized that somebody gave them the wrong information, or they reconsidered. Whatever the case may be, it's like you get a second chance in a situation and it comes out great. So for some of you, it could very well be a position or a job that you've been worrying about losing, and this week you don't lose it, or this week you get it back. Same thing with the business, right? It could be that you're running a business and things maybe just went a little bit sour for a second, or numbers haven't been so great. But again, this week can also be a sense of sort of relief for yourself, like letting go of your own sort of hypercriticism and worrying and guilt, right? And anyway, it still turns out very good for you, right? It still turns out like maybe it was only a momentary blip in your business outlook or what have you. In any case, whatever worry you begin the week off with regard to your finances, your career, your stability, by the end of the week, it is well and truly dealt with. You are coming up roses. You have gotten all of the affirmation that you need to get here with this 10, that you are not going to have to worry about any finances at all or any stability, right? Stability comes in very strong, and it's not only coming in strong, but it's cemented in. You level up. You have the stability will be there for the foreseeable future. So this is a really nice read for you, Gemini. All right, guys. This is your reading, January 25th to the 31st. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these weeklies coming out earlier. If you want to get a private reading, follow the links at the top of your screen, or you can always email me if you are an international watcher and you want to book a reading, and that link is giving you difficulty because of whatever territory you're in. You can always email me and we can schedule it manually. And for the rest, Gemini, have a wonderful week of the 25th to the 31st, and I'll see you the following week for your weeklies. Bye-bye now.